What is this mystery message that Spirit wants you to hear? We are going to pick 3 cards, 3 piles, and this is going to be a mystery message. So whatever comes out is what comes out. And these are 3 representatives of the 3 piles. Pile number 1, pile number 2, pile number 3. Inner strength. Pile number 1, we have inner strength. Pile number 2, relationships. Pile number 2, relationships. Pile number 3, love. Okay. And pile number 3 with love. Whichever one of these you feel most drawn to is going to be a pile, and we're going to pick the cards in just a moment. All right, so we're going to prepare the piles for this, and let's see here where we got these. Here we go. So what is this mystery message, Spirit, that you want to convey here on this planet Earth for us? What is this mystery message? We got pile number 1, we have pile number 2, and pile number 3. What is this mystery message that you want us? Pile number 2, pile number 3, what is this mystery message that you want to convey to us, Spirit? Pile number 1, pile number 2, pile number 3. Then we put the tarot cards in. Pile number 1, pile number 2, pile number 3. Mystery message. So, mystery message, secret message, but it will come out soon. Pile number 1, pile number 2, pile number 3. It's kind of amazing to see how beautifully these cards, always, like, these are random decks, these are shuffled, and it's just beautiful to see how they just always correlate and portray just beautiful messages together. Quite fascinating. And we got pile number 1, pile number 2, pile number 3, pile number 1, pile number 2, pile number 3, pile number 1, pile number 2, pile number 3. Relationships. We got love. And inner strength. Pile number 1, pile number 2, pile number 3. I will see you in your reading. Pile number 1. Welcome to your mystery reading. This is a mystery message from Spirit, and you got drawn to the inner strength card. Inner strength is so important. The solar plexus is so important. This, you being drawn, pile number 1, you being drawn to this card of inner strength is a great sign, because it will say to you, the card is saying to you that you have the strength to face all of life's challenges, and you have the strength to face it with grace, to do it gracefully. Solar plexus. Sometimes we get drawn into our life in all kinds of directions, and life takes us there, and life takes us there, and people take us there, and situations that happen and all that stuff. And before you know it, we don't even even make our own choices anymore. Now we're doing what we're supposed to do or what is expected of us. And sometimes we forget about ourselves, we forget about our passion, we forget about our vision, and then all of a sudden we don't think about it until life becomes complicated. So pile number one, you might have something complicated going on in your life. There might be something difficult that you are going through in your life. And if there is, then this is the message, that you have the strength to go through it. You have the strength to go through it and to take your power back. Because usually when everything becomes chaotic and everything becomes a little bit out of control and confusing, it's because we don't have a clear vision anymore. We don't have a clear voice. We don't really have a clear opinion, or we don't have really a clear thought about how it should be or could be. And so we don't follow our own internal guidance system anymore. Now we are drawn into something else. So whatever chaos has arisen, or whatever stuff has come on, and life is always going to present us with challenges too, because it's life, and that's how we grow. Like if we didn't have any challenges, we would just be like, it would be boring. Like it would be boring. We wouldn't grow. Everything would be stagnant, and we probably would just figure out a lot of childish ways to entertain ourselves. So having challenges in life is going to be important for our growth and for everything else. So pile number one, you have the ability to conquer anything that comes your way. It doesn't mean, no, is whether it is, so if you have any emotional stress going on, any physical problems, any mental problems, any spiritual challenges, like this is your message today from Mystery Oracle Spirit is saying that you have the strength that you need to go through this here, and you're not alone. Like pray about it, ask for guidance, ask for strength. You have your whole spirit team, everything with you at all times. So just pray for support, pray for guidance, pray for everything that you need to get out of whatever situation that you're in. Pray for healing, pray for what do you need to do to heal this? How can I heal this? How can I how can I heal it? And then be aware, pay attention to the signals and signs and everything that comes your way as the answer. Also, you have the card of the void. The void is kind of, not being wrapped up in thinking, not being wrapped up in doing. It's more so like a meditative state, like stop, embrace the space around you, embrace, like take a pause in your mind, find the space, the void within your mind. And this is calling, like instead of getting all trapped in this the seriousness and the busyness of life, this is your call to like surrender to the unknown mystery of your life. So this mystery message to you, pile number one, is actually to surrender to the mystery. Also, even in the midst of all the troubles, even in the midst of all the challenges and everything, if you surrender to the greatest, like just surrender to the void, fully acceptance, radical acceptance. And this is where faith lives. So this is where faith lives. Having faith, going through the troubles, having faith that everything will be okay, that you are going to be okay, having faith, trusting and asking for strength and guidance from the spirit world is going to be a great help. And also this card often shows up towards the end of something. So if you've been in this for a long time and you've been in some kind of trouble in your life, it could be emotionally, like it can be grief, it can be bitterness, it can be all kinds of stuff hanging in our emotional state. This is a sign that it's coming to a conclusion. So it's towards the end of a chapter. If it's something physical, maybe there is something that you can start exercising, or physical therapy, or do stuff like that, or surgery if that's what you need, or like do what you can do to maintain your physical health and all of that stuff. And then sometimes it can be also mental. Our thoughts take off. Like we don't have, like it's just chaotic, overwhelmed, be overthinking, thinking about everything. And thinking is like, this is like the pause card. Like, so over excessive thinking is a disease in itself. Like, it'll create so many misunderstandings and so many assumptions and so many just made up stories, like just an imaginary world. And so being cautious of how you utilize your thoughts, what you are thinking about, and being proactive, sitting down in the void and allowing your mind to quiet for a little bit. Also having trust. Trust is showing up. And the trust card is sometimes saying that are you going to trust this person? This is like double mask or triple mask on this person in this picture. Also, the animalistic nature is here in this human. This is also, this card, when it shows up, is saying that someone that used to, someone that once in your life hurt you back in the day or in your past. So they might be about to re-enter your life. And they might even be the cause of all this chaos that is going on currently in your life. And they might be trying to re-enter your life. And Spirit is asking you to remember how you opened your heart for them. And then how you opened up and you let them into your sacred garden, like your internal self, your internal world. You opened up, you let them in, and they just trampled all over it. And they left you with scars. And so the question is, can you trust them again? Can you trust them again? And how many chances are you going to give them? You have the inner strength, pile number one, to go through whatever it is that you are going through. And you have the strength to do it on your own. You don't need to bring back in that trouble. You don't need to bring that back into your life. You do not need to do that at all. Like, if it's in the past, it's probably a reason why it is in the past. And so trust that and trust Spirit on that. This here Perch to Dream card is perchance to dream. So this is dulling our senses. If you get stuck in a relationship that you're not passionate about, you don't care about the conversations, you don't care about the activities that you do together, you don't care about the emotions the emotions that come up when you're with this person is more apathy or just coping than anything else. So this is a card that is saying, like, whatever situation you're in, if you notice that your senses are like going to crap, like, okay, it's just withering down to nothing, like all of a sudden you're not even aware of your senses anymore, you're not experiencing, you're not tasting, smelling, feeling the world around you anymore. So this is like, okay, first the sight, we don't see things clearly anymore. We kind of just put blinders on sometimes because it's easier to have the blinders on than to deal with the problems. Then maybe you'll have to leave this person who's keep hurting you. Maybe you have to leave them if you take off the blinders. And so it's easier sometimes to stay with the blinder on, because then you don't have to do anything. And then so the sight goes first, and then you're hearing, and you won't hear what they say anymore. You don't listen anymore because the conversations never gave you anything before, and maybe you weren't even allowed to contribute in the conversation. And so you just wither out, you just tune it out, and you'll be sitting there in your own thoughts, which can cause, again, overthinking and all that stuff. And then the smell is going, and now you don't even notice the smell, and the taste, you don't really taste the food, you don't really smell whatever is going on around you. And then the touch. So that would be like giving in to the darkness. Whatever situation you're in, if you're allowing all those things to just wither down so that you don't have to deal with things, now you're in a dark place. Now you can stay in the dark place if that's what you want to do. But this little mystery message from Spirit is going to be an encouragement for you to choose otherwise. Choose different, because you got drawn to the inner strength card. So you can do it. You can do it. Like, I am 110% sure. 110% sure that of course you can do it. It just takes doing it. That's all you got. And sometimes, like, the people in your past, yeah, maybe you already talked to them, maybe you already tried to have the conversations, maybe you already tried to put your words, your needs into words so that they could understand you better, maybe you already tried to do all these things, and then And are you going to try it again? Do you want to spend more time doing that? Or do you want to spend the time rather getting your hearing back, like listening? And when I say eyesight and hearing, maybe you can start listening and looking at the signs around you, looking at the colors that are around you, smelling again. Maybe you have a good perfume that you want to wear, something that you can put on. Maybe you have a whatever can awaken your senses so that you come more alive again, becoming alive again. Don't get lost in the dream. And here it is, the Fool card. Yes, Spirit is saying, dear pile number one, set out on this new journey. Don't get stuck in this the darkness. Don't stay in the darkness, and don't allow your senses to be dulled away, because your senses is like a portal into the present moment. And then when you lose your senses, you kind of just get lost in your thinking, which the thinking is not a good place for most of us to be in, especially if you're already in a challenging place. Your thoughts are going to be very dark, challenging. They're going to be judgmental, commenting on everything, anxious, fearful, all that stuff. And so taking time to sit down, like carve out the time in your life, pile number one, to meditate, sit down and try and quiet that mind, so the mind doesn't come to be like a restriction in your life. And then be the Fool. It doesn't matter if you don't know what you're doing. It doesn't matter. Just do it anyway. It doesn't matter if you don't if you have never done it before. It doesn't matter. You'll learn it eventually. Just do it anyway. And then a year from now, you're going to be so glad that you did it. And then and when you go out on that new journey, make sure that you can see the colors around you. Make sure that you do know how to enjoy the beautiful sunrise in the morning, or how it's the beautiful colors that are outside, or just how pretty the water looks when it rains on it, because it looks different. Or maybe you can smell the smell the spring in the air from the grass that people are cutting, or you can smell the rain in the air, or you can smell the perfume or incense or whatever you like to smell, the body of someone that you care about, the smell of someone that you love. Not the old one, not the past one, not they've been there before. You don't have to go back there. It's over and done with. And for the most part, when it's in the past, it's better left in the past. That's why it's there in the first place. Otherwise it would be in the present. And Queen of Cups, allowing all the emotions. I mean, sometimes pile number one, if you're going through chapters in your life that are challenging, it is bringing out the compassion, having compassion for yourself, bringing out the compassion within yourself, bringing out to yourself, having compassion for yourself. If you can, then when you sit down and you meditate, then maybe you can show gratitude, feel gratitude for the process of learning this new lesson, so that you don't have to repeat the hurt from the before or whatever went on there before. And taking back your senses, taking back your experience of the day-to-day living. And Queen of Cups and Water, and King of Cups and Water. And perhaps by doing this here, you're going to allow someone to come into your future, like someone that is your counterpart, someone that is equally yoked, someone is energetically aligned with you, that is going to be there side by side and with you. And so setting out on this new journey, getting out of whatever funk or whatever challenges that you have, and knowing that you can do it, setting out on this journey is going to awaken that compassion and the queen qualities in you. And if you realize, pile number one, how strong you are to be able to get out of whatever you're going through and get out of those difficulties, and you understand how strong you are, and you assert your own voice, your own wishes, your own needs, and you put them first, and you set your boundaries, then you're going to allow this King of Water to come towards you too. And then you can merge with someone beautiful and share with someone beautiful. Wish fulfillment, emotional wish fulfillment, great passionate energy, love, like beautiful love. This is kind of like looking like kind of a love reading, like a love story. Because with the setting out on this here, and the Queen and the King of Water, of love, emotion, compassion, sharing, gratitude, all this good stuff, the counterparts and the wish fulfillment, then like Nine of Cups, being content, having what you want, and the King of Wands again showing up. Ace of Cups is some brand new love. This can be also a connection to everything, like to be centered, to be able to sit yourself down and quiet the mind from all the stress and all the troubles that may be happening in your life. Quiet the mind from that, breathing, understanding. Like if you ask a question like right now, do you have a problem right now? Most people in 99.9% of the chances are not being attacked or under attack when they hear that question. So in most cases, the answer is going to be no, you don't have a problem right now. You might have situations that you have to deal with when you continue to live your life. There might be different scenarios and situations that you gotta have to deal with. But right at this moment, right here and now, no, there's no problems right here and now. And this is the Ace of Cups, and that's a reminder to sit down and allow that faith, to have faith, like allow the spirit, allow the divine to come through you, and allow it to be festering from within yourself, so that you can bring that love into the world around you. Victory after a battle. Victory after a battle is great, and yes, there are disappointments, there are grief, and also some kind of a message coming in. Pile number one, this is actually really good. So the only challenge is to kind of find the grace. How can you deal with these problems? How can you deal with the emotional, physical, mental, or spiritual problems that you have? How can you deal with it? Sit down and quiet the mind first and foremost. If someone is trying, and bring back your senses, like feel, touch, smell, eat something good, bring yourself back to life senses, and bring yourself into the moment, also in the power of now. Bring yourself through the senses. When you start to notice the senses, you are not thinking. And so when you're not thinking, that's a very good place to be in. That's what you want to do. So you reigniting your senses and noticing and being connected with your senses is going to bring you into the power of now, into the moment where you're going to be able to figure out what to do. And you're going to be able to not think. You're going to be able to quiet the mind. And then if anybody comes knocking from the past, I believe that it takes a lot of willingness. What I have learned from my life is that it takes a lot of willingness. It takes a lot of determination. It takes a lot of commitment to change. Like I have gone through some massive changes in my life, and I love changes. I love the internal work. I love doing the shadow work. I love doing it. I'm very dedicated. I'm doing it very diligently, and it's the main thing that I want to do in my life. And the reason why I'm telling you this is because for me, even, it is difficult to change. Even with me doing all of this so purposefully, and it still is difficult to change. And if you have someone coming from the past that hasn't done nothing, they haven't quite really even tried to do anything different, they are going to be the same. And this is why I'm saying it, because unless they come in and they can tell you all the things and the tools that they have been using to change who they used to be, or they can name the behaviors that used to hurt you, and unless they can do that stuff, they have not changed. You're going to bring the nightmare back into your life if you do that. So just be aware of that. Then people are going to come, oh yeah, I've changed. Well, what did you do? What kind of tools did you do? Do you know how to meditate? Do you know how to sit down and quiet your mind? Do you understand what the ego means? Do you understand what it means to do spiritual work and stuff like that? And if you can have them answer some of these things, then maybe they are changing. But in most cases, they are not. So be aware, just be aware, because you don't want to bring it back in. Now you're setting out on a beautiful journey. And this might be also holding a great connection, a love connection for you. Unless the love connection is deep within yourself, that you fall in love with your life, you fall in love with who you are, and you understand your worth, you understand you have integrity, and then you can move into your life in all these beautiful ways. And understanding also that life is going to be, sometimes we're going to be victorious, sometimes we're going to get knocked over by grief or disappointments. Sometimes we get messages that we could be without. And that's just life. And these are all good points of growing. And so pile number 1, that was your mystery message from Spirit. And I hope that gave you some clarity, or I hope that helped you in some kind of way in your life on the journey. It's not easy, but it's fun, and it's worth doing the work, and quiet that mind and get your senses back so that you can experience your beautiful life. If you liked it, if you want to give me a thumbs up, I appreciate it. And if you want to subscribe to my channel, you will be notified when I upload spirit messages or spirit messages. So I have spirit messages through the card readings, through my songs, and also through the daily messages. And you will be notified if you subscribe. And the beautiful light in me, it honors, respects, and loves the same beautiful light in you. And until next time, namaste. Pile number 2, welcome to your reading. So what is the mystery message that Spirit has for you today? Pile number 2, you got drawn to the card of relationships. Relationships are very important. Relationships are something that we all have in deeper, closer, more distant, or different ways. I think this spirit message right here in this mystery message today is going to encourage you, pile number 2, to, if you are in a transition with your relationships, or if you look around and your relationships doesn't really enhance your life, or they doesn't really align with you anymore, this might be your encouragement to try and manifest relationships that are aligned with your highest good and with your soul's purpose. So Spirit is wanting you to create more relationships that are aligned with your highest good and your soul's purpose. This is also a message from the sacral chakra. Learning about yourself and others, and having that knowing that there is an abundance of love and healing everywhere. And it comes also through and with solid and fulfilling relationships. There is love and healing, and it's a very nourishing energy that comes through good relationships. Also, the relationships, they teach you things, and they mirror many traits and truths back to us. So any kind of relationships that you're in is going to mirror you in good ways and bad ways, and you can be offended by it, or you can learn from it. So sometimes if it really is like, okay, yeah, I get it, or like it's something that you don't like about yourself, or something that you don't want to see in yourself, it can be difficult when people mirror it. And so then it's just like, okay, it's still coming from a place of growth, of potential growth. Because if you do the lesson, if you see it and you transmute it into something that you can learn from and grow from, then it is a beautiful gift. It might be a difficult gift because you have to overcome a little bit of ego in there sometimes, but it's for the most part a very, very beautiful gift. And we got say yes to change, adventure, go on adventure and say yes to change is the encouragement here from Spirit. Jump on in. So perhaps this is a calling, like, for you to be courageous, pile number 2. So being courageous in your life and with the people around you, being courageous, maybe there is a significant goal or an opportunity that is coming in for you. And that can come through your relationships. It can come through any avenue like that you have in your life. And then this is the message, the mystery message today from Oracle. Your Spirit is saying, jump right in, like, be adventurous, say yes to it, and jump in when it shows up. And we got redemption. So redemption comes within our humans, like humans, within us. We have often a lot of self-blame. We have a lot of regret sometimes. This can be self-blame in connections that we have messed up, or we did something that was not fair to the connection and we broke it. Or this can be like self-blame for not taking opportunities that was presented to us at one point. This can be self-blame for not getting out of relationships when you ought to have gotten out of it. You didn't acknowledge the red flags, or you didn't take yourself serious enough to value yourself enough to take yourself out of the situation. This can be also regret. So having regret, we all have regret. It's we all have things that we might have wished that we did different, or that we didn't do, that we wish that we had done. And so this is like a call also for, it's better to kind of regret the things that you do than the ones that you didn't do. Afterwards, when you sit there in your rocket chair at the end of your life and you be like, what did I do or what didn't I do? I think you're going to be more amused by the stories that you did try, and maybe they failed, or maybe it wasn't quite how you had visioned it to the outcome to be, but it might be a great story anyway, and you might be sitting there in your rocket chair later down the road and enjoying the guts and the courage and the adventure that it took from you, pile number 2, to even do these things. And so Spirit here is just encouraging you to let go of the past. So since the relationships is showing up and the jumping and saying yes to change, you might have been in very difficult situations before in your life with very difficult people around you in your life. And with that, like, okay, so now you have consequences then, pile number 2, from these people and situations and the stuff that you've been through. So how can you strengthen yourself? How can you find your grounding and your sense of self again after being pulled probably in many, many different directions? And Spirit is asking you to move on from your painful past and to cast aside any feelings of remorse. No time to remorse things, just time to release them. So it's also asking you, release the guilt, release any kind of self-judgment. And sometimes it might be tough decisions to make. Learning how to trust your own decisions when it comes to doing what is best for you. And do not give this power away to others. Like having faith, having trust. Learning to trust your own decisions. Learning to trust your own decisions when it comes to what is best for you. Do not give this power away to anyone else. So when you get new relationships into your life, you bring new people into your life, make sure that they are people who are there. They're not trying to control you. They're not trying to manipulate you. They're not trying to make you do their bidding or betting or whatever. And so you are being encouraged, pile number 2, to let go of all that stuff, all the stuff from the past, all of that, let it go, set out on this new journey. And perhaps the best relationship that you can create with yourself and at this moment is with yourself, to be your own best friend. Like, be kind to yourself. When you think about things in your mind, like, be kind, say kind words. If you spoke those words, if you look yourself in the mirror, and whatever you tell yourself in the mirror, if you can look at me and you can tell me those things that you talk to yourself about, and pile number 2, if you can tell them to me and I will not be offended, actually I would be, I would feel glad, or I would feel, wow, like that. And wow, thank you so much. That is so sweet of you to say that. If that would be the reply, then it would be meaningful. But if I would be offended by you because you told me the things that you're talking to yourself, now you're not being your own best friend. So be your own best friend. If you can tell it to someone else and they won't be offended, then you can say it to yourself too. If you cannot say it to someone else, they will be freaking flipping out or whatever, then don't say it to yourself either. So that was one little message that came through there. And yeah, do not give that power away to others. Not anymore. Not anymore. Bride in a cage. Sometimes we think, you know, people be planning, oh, the big day. I'm going to get married. And from now I'm 7 years old. And I'm going to talk about this till hopefully I'll be married by like 21, maybe 22. And then I'm going to plan this day for all that time. And then I'm going to plan, oh, it's going to be so beautiful. I'm going to have this many people. I'm going to be wearing this. I'm going to weigh that. And my hair is going to look like that. And it's going to be these flowers and these arrangements and all that stuff. And then the big day comes and everybody, everything is beautiful and everything is great. And then after that comes the actual humans who have to live together. And the humans that have to figure out all the shadow sides of each other and the pain bodies that's going to come popping up. And all of a sudden, there's so much more to the planning than the big day. Like, if you had spent just equal amount of planning thinking about how do you merge with another person, how can you keep your own sanity, how can you keep your own privacy, how can you keep your own self intact whilst also living with another person and allowing them to come in too. Because sometimes the expectations that we create around our life and around ourselves creates a bride in a cage. So yeah, you might have gotten all that stuff that you really wanted, that was also beautiful, and they're also pretty, and then you get stuck in there, and then maybe you even die waiting for that perfect day because it never came at 21, and so now you're still waiting for the perfect day. And then sometimes we never even come alive. Like, we don't never come alive. We're just sitting there like blinking about all the past stuff and the people that hurt us or did us wrong and all that. And we need this and we need that, and materialism is taking over. And if you have this and this, it should make you happy. And then you find when you get this and this, that this is what they told me, that if I got this and this, I would be happy. And here I am, I have this and this, and I am not happy. There's something wrong with me. Now I'm going to be self-judging myself for a little bit, and I'm going to just extra pretend that I'm so successful and happy and content with everything, because that's what I'm supposed to be when I have all these things. And it's not the things itself that make you happy or unhappy. It's your internal work. So pile number 2, this is a message, a mystery message from Spirit saying that allow your beautiful self to come out from within, like the good stuff, like if you get stuck in all these materialistic things, the future shouldn't feel like a cage. Like, now you have to pay all the bills, you have to do this, you have to look like that, you have to go and get more surgeries, or you have to get more Botox, or you have to get more hair done or nails done or whatever. And then all of a sudden it's like the platonic, it's just platonic and everything. And then the feedback from others is what's going to make you feel happy because they noticed or didn't notice. And so you kind of get in this loop of approval loop. And then what happens when you age? Like, how are you going to deal with that if all happiness is connected to the feedback loop from other people? And then how are you going to do that when you're starting to look different and things are different? And how are you going to deal with that if you don't have any kind of sense of internal love for yourself, or an internal knowing of who you really are, your soul? And so this is like a huge message from Spirit, asking you to release all the self-blame, release all of that. Like, find a quiet place, find your space so that you can sit down and enjoy and find a way to appreciate the life that you have. So there might have been tension, there might have been conflict in your life, or there might be at the current moment. And so think about pile number 2. Spirit is asking you to think about, what are your motives and what are your intentions? Can you maybe use this experience, this conflict, the tension that you're going through? Spirit is asking, is there a way maybe that you can use this experience to grow into a more authentic version of yourself? Is there a way that you can find a more authentic version, maybe not so connected to the fashion or what you're supposed to do or look like, or what everybody else is doing, but you can find your own integrity, your own joy, your own, like, okay, maybe you didn't need all of that in the first place to feel happy. Maybe you just needed someone to love you properly, like to care for you and love for you, and then you can have a tiny little wedding on the beach, and that would be more satisfying than the whole planning for 10 years. And then you would be happy because you did the work, or you did the internal work, you figured out your self-worth. So you're going to find someone who comes in and enhances and makes you feel worthy. And so doing the work, letting go of the self-guilt and the self-blame and all that stuff is going to be a very huge encouragement in this, at this particular reading right here, pile number 2. High Priestess, learning to trust your intuition. Like, in conflicts, in everything, everybody has an opinion. Everybody has everybody knows best. Like, of course, I always know best, but that's what everybody says. So there you go. So of course there's going to be conflict, and sometimes you just have to go. The conflict often comes from the minds mushing together with all kinds of thoughts coming together, and it gets conflict. Now we're going to have to discuss our opinions, or maybe we have different opinions, and now we're going to have to argue about it until one of us is right, so the ego can feel better over here, and stuff like that. So whatever. This is just a call to, like, sometimes it's better to zip the mouth, open the eyes, open the ears, and then just allow the things to come to you. Like, the intuition is just like not judging everything in your mind, commenting on everything. Oh my gosh, I'm sure this is going on over there, and he just looked over there like that. That means that this is happening there. And now I'm sure that after this I'm going to go and get that, and wonder what I did yesterday actually at this time. I think tomorrow though is going to be better. And that's our mind, and our mind goes like that, like constant, all the time, all day long. High Priestess though is good at quieting the mind and taking in the information that is actually around her. This can be like the emotions coming from other people. This can be the intentions coming from other people. This can be scenarios that happen between other people. This can be body language, yeah, eyesight, whatever. And the High Priestess is able to decode all these little messages and take it in and get to the core, get to the essence of what is going on. So developing your intuition, pile number 2, is going to help you figure out who are the bull crappers and who are the integrity people. You want to stay away from the bull crappers because that's too much work. You want to go towards the integrity people and the authentic people, because that's much easier. Now they will enhance your own integrity, and they will enhance your own authenticity. And taking ownership of your experience, taking ownership of your getting out of this funk, getting out of this conflict, taking ownership of the beauty, trusting divine order, like solid foundation. Create a solid foundation for yourself. Have faith in a divine order, like have faith, trust, security. Find security in divine order. Believe it. Just choose to believe and have faith that everything always works out for you, pile number 2. Everything always works out in your favor. So even if you're in the midst of a conflict, if you can tell yourself that everything always works out in my favor, then you have a different sense of security, and it's going to be easier to maintain your calm and to maintain your focus going through all these challenges. So hang in there and just trust in that, and also create your foundation so that you have what you need: your sleep, your food, your water, your shelter, your security. And if you don't have any people in your life because you have to kind of move on in a different direction, you can still create a solid foundation for yourself. So you have a place where you feel safe, where you feel secure, and then you choose faith over everything else. You choose to have faith in something greater than us, something that is working on behalf of the good. And then you have 100% faith in that, and that's what you're going to pull into your life. And now you're going to attract all these good people, not the bull crappers, because we don't need them. That's too much work. And then we're going to bring in the good ones. And awakening. Judgment, awakening. So this might be just you, pile number 2, realizing. Sometimes you don't even realize what the chaos that you're living in is actually looking like. Sometimes we just get so used to it, and I know this from my own life, that you can get used to like any kind of situation and be okay with it. You can find contentment in any kind of horrible situations in your life, because when you have to, you will, whatever you're around all the time, you get used to it. So sometimes the awakening can be just like all of a sudden you realize that all this empty materialistic stuff, it's just empty. There's nothing in there. There's just like it's like a fool's cry. They're just like, come over here, buy this, it's gonna make you happy. You'd be like, okay, wow, I'm gonna go and try that because I don't feel so happy right now, so I'm gonna go and try it and see if it makes me feel happy. And then you get it, you'd be like, whoa, yay, I got that. And then 5 seconds later, you're like, well, now I feel just as miserable again. And then one next. And then you're gonna have to find things all the time to fill up your little happiness cup for like 5 seconds. And so the Judgment card is often just like you're awakening. Now you can see it. You look around in your life and you'll be like, wow, Pile number 2, this is not for me to be right here. I am pile number 2. And I know that I want to find new relationships in my life that are aligned with my higher good. I am pile number 2. I deserve this. I am pile number 2, and I have the strength to go through this. I am pile number 2. I'm going to get my solid foundation. I am not going to be fooled into another matrix of lies and deception and all that stuff. And I'm not going to blame myself for the choices that I have made in my past. So pile number 2, do not blame yourself. Just let it go. You didn't know better. What you don't know until you know it. And it can be a variety of things. And then the Empress. Once you start to awaken, pile number 2, once you start to see this whole, the bullcrap people and all these lies and the deceit and the deceives and the betrayals and all that stuff and these behaviors, the manipulative behaviors. Once you start to open your eyes and you look around and you can see what they see, you can see them for what they are, not what you're thinking that they might be. Like your wish fulfillment, not your wishful thinking, or the rose-colored glasses. You take them off, and now you can see things clearly around you. You're awakening to a different reality than what you had believed in, the dream that was created throughout life. We all have it in one way or the other, a dream that we're living in. And we create this massive dream that we believe in, and this is life, and this is how it is. And all of a sudden, poof, someone pops the bubble, and there you are. Holy crap. Wow, this is how it is. This is not so good. No, it's not so good. But you're going to come out of it in a great way, because once you realize what actually it is, now you can take out your own creativity. You can allow something new to be birthed. You can allow yourself to be birthed again. So now you can stand up there and you can come out as a victorious, strong, like this Empress also embodies all the qualities of the Queen. So you have learned so much from going through this conflict and from learning from the relationships and learning what the relationships made you feel like, and then making different choices for yourself, because you, pile number 2, you are very powerful. You are a beautiful soul. Your soul is yearning to get out of this cage dress or this cage expectations. And your soul is just yearning to be set free so that your soul can express itself naturally, just the way it is. So you don't even have to learn anything new. You don't have to go anywhere to find it. You don't have to learn anything new. You don't have to be a wizard or a magician and just poof, there it is. No, you just have to remember who you are and allow your authentic voice to come through. So you're listening to how you feel and you respond to the situation around you accordingly. And don't just step over yourself or allow that. And also here is higher learning, finding faith, finding your foundation, and the faith, and the High Priestess being quiet, allowing this creativity to come out. Out of conflict comes awakening. So don't be afraid of conflict either. And solid foundation, and then faith. Like, I cannot say it strongly enough. Like, if you don't have the network around you that you would like to have in your life, or you feel like you are having to rely more on yourself, then find your own way of faith. Like, just practice having faith in something greater, something bigger than us, that always wants what is best for you. And sometimes what is best for you is not what you think is best for you. If you think this is best for you, then the divine is going to pull you in a different direction, and you're going to feel the pull. And then sometimes you just have to get out of your own dream or your own head to be able to see where the divine is trying to pull you into, so that you can go towards what you truly desire. Generosity and strong leadership energy. Thinking outside the box, doing your own thing, making your own decisions. Do not give away your power to know what is best for you. Do not give it away to others anymore. Use it to create different strategy. Use it so that you can get ahead in your life, and you know what is best for you. You know what you want. You know what is best for you, and do not give that power away to anybody else. So pile number 2, that was your reading, and I know you're gonna get out of this and rise from it in a powerful way. And don't be too harsh on yourself. Have compassion, because we're just mere humans here hopping around on planet Earth, trying our best. And not everybody's trying even to do anything about themselves, but you're here and you are trying. So that is first step of changing everything in your life and around you. And the beautiful light in me, it honors, respects, and it loves the same beautiful light in you. And until next time, namaste. Pile number 3, welcome. Welcome to your mystery message. Pile number 3, you got drawn to the card of love. Love is all we need. I am love, and love is me. Love is all you need. You may be going through a challenging time at present. Perhaps you are going through a relationship breakup. Perhaps you have a challenging family situation. Perhaps you're going through a friendship breakdown. Perhaps you are going through personal challenges. Opening up your heart, even in challenging situations, even when you're going through challenging things, is going to align you with something greater than the challenge itself. And also this card can be that you're going through there, but this can also be a card that is saying that, yeah, pile number 3, you got drawn to this card. You might be calling in that soulmate or twin flame or what you want to call it. You might be calling in this person to your life. Fall into my arms, surrender, holding the opposites, extremes of life. Love and fall into my arms. Okay, so pile number 3, you might be falling into someone's arms, or maybe your arms will be filled up with someone pretty special pretty soon, which would be wonderful. And that is one kind of love. That is like the love that we like here in this the world that we're living in. And but this is also a call. Pile number 3, Spirit is saying that fall into my arms. This is Spirit asking you, pile number 3, to fall into the arms, surrender into the greater love, surrender into that. Like that is the greatest love that there is. And if you can surrender into that, and Spirit is saying here, your soul remembers oneness with the divine. Your soul remembers it, and it's deep buried under the layers of the crazy world that we are living in. But your soul remembers the oneness with Source. So sometimes it can make you feel lonely, and it can be also confusing when we get separated from that. So sometimes we just feel lonely, we just feel disconnected or whatever, because our soul remembers the oneness with Spirit and the divine. Whereas our human self, we are disconnected from it because we got dragged into all this materialistic stuff and the expectations and the opinions of others and all that stuff that is going on around us. And yeah, and sometimes when we get separated from the divine, it is causing a sense of loneliness, and this might be an encouragement to let your soul rediscover the connection with the divine. This is also Spirit saying that welcome the highs and the lows of life, like both, like highs and lows. Just welcome it into your life. Welcome it because they are teachers. And the highs and lows of our human experience is our teachers. So no matter the heartbreaks, no matter what kind of relationship ending or whatever kind of human interaction that was disappointing, is our teacher. Now we can learn a lot from that. Also, this can be like Spirit saying, yes, the world and people are going to be disappointing us because it's human nature. Like we're just, for the most part, we're just big heads walking around here with 2 shoes on it, hopping around on planet Earth, trying our best in our minds. And so there's going to be a lot of confusion. There's going to be a lot of assumptions, and there's going to be a lot of misunderstandings, because that's how most people live unconsciously. And so here is Spirit saying, yeah, that will happen. That is life. There, it's also beautiful in life, but it can also be very challenging. So dive into Spirit arms and find that deeper sense of connection with Spirit and with the divine. And let your soul rediscover that true connection. You got inspiration. Being inspired is also something that is coming from within and from Source and from the divine. Creativity is an instinct, like it's beauty, delight, like communicating new ideas, communicating new ideas into reality, like talking to other people about it, talking to spirit about it, like laying it out there, talking about it out loud, listening to the feedback that you get, like with your intuition, listening to that, following the guidance, inspiration, feeling inspired to create, feeling inspired to be the best version of yourself that you can be. Pile number 3. And with being a creator, creating things, it doesn't have to be like Van Gogh, or it doesn't have to be like Mozart. It doesn't have to be like that. Like this creation, the creativity, bringing this inspiration to create something beautiful. It can be like, maybe you want to create a little part in your backyard that you can fresh it up and make it look beautiful, like create your own little garden or whatever. And then, or perhaps you can prepare food. Perhaps you can show your inspiration and your creativity and everything in the way you put the food together, and be inspired by what you see and recipes, and putting it together on your own, and just creating things from what you like and what you love. And also it can be like how you dress, like what's your hair look like, what kind of style do you have? Do you have a certain style, or what do you like? How do you like to dress? How do you feel inspired? Do you feel inspired by the way you dress, or the way the things look around you? Are you allowing this to come out, your true self, your authentic voice? Or are you hiding your true self? I think most people still on this earth is hiding their true self. And I think it might not be because they like want to do that, like, oh no, I don't like what I see here, so I'm gonna hide it. I don't think that's the reason why. It's just that when we grow up, and our culture and the social norms and how people talk to us, and when we express ourselves sometimes with our true self, maybe it's inappropriate to the situation or wherever we're at the conversation, and then people say something, and then you get take it personally, and then you don't understand that it might have been just circumstantial. There was nothing wrong with what you said. And it might have been just circumstantial, but then you start to bury your own voice. And maybe next time that little voice comes up and want to say something, you don't say it because you remember how embarrassing it was the last time when they talked to you afterwards, or like they put you in the right place or whatever, they humiliated you, or however it happened. But as the years go by, most of us people, we get taught to hide our true self. Our little souls are there, and the soul is remembering the union with the divine. You are that, or like still, and that's who you truly are. And then we just hide it behind everything that we experience in our life, keeping things inside, like not talking about it, not allowing yourself to express how you feel, not allowing yourself to talk about the things that you want to talk about. Or being yourself is a massage for the soul. Like when you are truly yourself, your soul is like yummy. So being yourself, even if it might not fit completely with the circumstances around you, it doesn't matter. When you're an adult, you can take your power back, and you can figure out how can you implement your own voice again. How can you remember what you truly felt and how you truly wanted to respond to it? And how can you remember these things so that you can now bring yourself, your true, authentic, beautiful self, back into life again? Purification processes, like when you are yourself, it is a purification process for everything, like for your so when it's like breathing in oxygen, like bringing in bliss, bringing in pleasure, like you, even without having to worry about what you say, without having to worry if other people are going to judge you from what you're wearing, or without having to worry about if you're always going to know what to say the right things, or maybe you didn't laugh at the right place, or maybe you didn't smile correctly, or maybe you said something that might have upset somebody, or all these worries and all these fears that we have up in our head that we worry about. Think about, like, once you let them go and you just allow yourself, like, say a prayer, like, use me, spirit, use me as a vessel, and whatever comes out, and you just, your intention is to be a good person and to maybe help people, or to be a vessel for the greater good. then you can be trusting that whatever you say and however it comes out, it serves a purpose. And if it's not fitting to the other person, then that might be the lesson that Spirit wants you to teach them, people. And so having faith and trusting your own voice, bringing yourself back into the divine. Pile number 3, Spirit is encouraging you to do that. Dive in, find inspiration in it, like bring out your spirit clothes or whatever. Bring it out and have fun with life. Like be an expression of the divine itself. Be an expression, be an example of the divine itself. And have fun with it. Life is supposed to be fun. And if you have been through like a breakup, or you have, sometimes in the breakups, like we'd be like, oh my gosh, if I had just talked differently, then if I didn't have this accent, then maybe they would have stayed with me longer. Or maybe if I didn't wear those pants the other day, then they would have liked me better. Or maybe if I didn't eat too much when we went out, then maybe they would have still been with me. We can find so many things that that we think jeopardized our relationships or whatever. But you know, love doesn't count like that. It doesn't matter to love if you are doing those things. It doesn't matter to love, like it doesn't matter. So it wouldn't have anything to do with that. And so that can be also a way to feel more rest assured that if you have faith, whatever you're going through, sometimes you just need to create distance between your family and yourself. And sometimes you need distance between friends that you outgrow them, or people come into your life for a reason, for a season, sometimes a longer stay, sometimes a shorter stay. And there are people coming in for lessons. You are giving lessons, they are giving lessons. It's mirroring. There's all kinds of things going on, and people serve different purposes in our life. And hiding our true self is just going to be confusing for yourself, pile number 3, and it's also going to be confusing for the people around you, because when you're not true to who you are, then how does the universe even know who to send you? Because you might be calling in people that doesn't really align with who you are, because that's who you think you are, or you're hiding the parts of yourself that the other person loves so much, and then you won't allow them to love it because you don't like it yourself. And so finding that, like the divine, like allowing your soul to recall what it feels like to be connected to the divine, having peace of mind, feeling good, being at peace with yourself, trusting that you know how to make decisions, trusting that when you pray about things, things will fall into your path and you will know what way to go, and trusting that there's nothing wrong with you, even though if the relationship didn't work out, then maybe it was just not energetically aligned, and then you need some different people to fulfill you in the way that you want and need. And so this is an encouragement from Spirit, yes, to the divine love, and then the full acceptance of self. And then all of the relationships that you bring into your life after doing that is going to be bringing love in, because now that's what you exude, that's what's coming out of you. And so, and we have love again, okay, so love and love twice, which is a beautiful thing. So, and this is again talking about the illusion of separation. Like, we're not really separated from source. You're not really separated from anything. You are like that. That's one of the illusions that makes us hide ourselves, or that is blocking our inspiration. And so figuring out like that it's an illusion of separation. There is magic around and abound everywhere with unity. Like, love is all around you, pile number 3. Even if these people here is not working out, there's something going on there that you may have had to cut or walk away from, love is still all around you. Like, love is everywhere within you, around you. Spirit loves you unconditionally. And this is an encouragement to stay open-hearted. Don't close it up just because you have some unhealthy or sometimes dangerous too. Sometimes unhealthy, dangerous, toxic, negative, just very difficult challenges to go through over here. Even if you have that, don't lose faith and hope. Like, connect to the love anyway. Keep that heart open. Don't close it up. Pile number 3. Leave it open so that you can bring in new love. And allow your soul to find the connection back with the divine. honoring differences. Like over here, like if people honored the differences in each other and didn't try to change each other or didn't try to manipulate each other into doing or being something specific, and they just allowed you to shine through with your true self, then it would be great. Like then it would be unity in diversity, and then harmony in differences. Like there would be harmony in being different. There can be a lot of harmony in that if the acceptance and allowance from the other people is there. But if it's not, then it's sometimes this is also spirit encouraging you, pile number 3, to don't close your heart up, even if it's been uncomfortable. Don't close it up, and allow for differences to be okay, and open to new people and ideas. Maybe you can stretch what you believe and then find back to the soul purpose and align more with that deeper core love that is. Perhaps you can learn from these things, and you will stand up stronger. But don't close your heart off. Pile number 3 is what Spirit is saying here clearly. And the Sun. If you don't close your heart up and you allow this uncomfortable experience over here to be your teacher, and you still have faith, you're just going to be like, you know what? Well, people may have beat you up. They might have done all kinds of weird, sickening stuff to you. You can still choose to believe in the good in people. Just because why not? You're going to believe something anyway. So you might as well just hang on to the love, hang on to the belief in something better, something greater. And then the Sun is like the happiest. Like this is talking about your projects, pile number 3, is going to come to fruition. Your relationships is going to flourish. And this is like your growth is assured. This is Spirit saying to you, pile number 3, that you are heading into a time of plenty. You coming out of these difficulties, you found the inspiration to change, to step up and find your true self. Like, do not hide your beautiful true self. Even if you are weird, that's beautiful. I love weird people. Are so much more exciting than the people who say and do all the right things, and they have learned their role to the T, and they know exactly how to respond in a polite way and all that stuff. That's very predictable. But people who dare to trust their own self and be themselves, that's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. So even if the true self feels a little bit different and all that, just allow it to come out and play, because it makes the world such a much more interesting and beautiful place. 8 of Cups. Sometimes you got to walk away from the things that no longer serve us. Have the foundation and have the faith and have the courage to tiptoe away from there. And by doing that, I know this from experience too, that sometimes you have, if you walk away from something, you might be in a more vulnerable situation afterwards, because now you have to take care of yourself. You might have to reestablish yourself on your own. You might have to get a job so you can pay your own bills. You might have to do things differently, but you are going to be able to do that, no problem at all. And it might be a lot of work for you, but it's better to work a little bit extra than to be over here and to be diminished, manipulated, harassed, disrespected, judged. So instead of that, it's better to put some little bit extra stuff in here and just keep your balance. Whatever you do, you're going to be able to balance it. You're going to be able to stand your ground, and you're going to be able to do the right thing. You're going to be able to juggle the resources that you have, even after when you walk away from whatever is not serving your highest good. And by juggling it and the 10 of Swords, ending something is dead, done, and over with. And sometimes in drastic or like in damaging situations, sometimes you just have to cut it like completely. If you don't, it's going to keep pulling you backwards. So even if you want to be nice and you want to be like, hey, I'm pile number 3, I'm a very compassionate person. I'm pile number 3, yeah, I know you did me wrong over there, but probably you're a better person now, and I'm sure you didn't do it on purpose, because pile number 3 would never do stuff like that. So if coming from pile number 3, it's going to be like, well, so if you would never do those things, you think that other people also might think the same way. But this is like, no, you have to sometimes just let it be dead, done, and over with. Keep your balance, keep your cool, do what you're doing. Do not go back there so they can bundle you up in lies and deceits and who you are not. So don't go back there. Just allow it to end. Sometimes Endings are the best things that came to us humans. Passionate new beginning. And you don't have to be an expert to start anything. You can feel young at heart. You can feel young in soul. You can feel like a 40-year-old, 5-year-old. Sometimes do it anyway, because the lessons and the whatever you need to learn, you will learn it along the way. And here's the Two of Pentacles twice. So you just stay balanced and get the rest. Look within. And find that true self. Find that connection. Like the meditation is here. Like meditate. Find that. Let your soul be reconnected with the divine. Like allow your soul to reconnect with what it is. And then you can, that's your foundation. And then you can go out and you can find the other things that you want to bring into your life. But it's going to take some balance and being gracefully rooted in yourself and finding your true self. Pile number 3. That was your mystery reading from Spirit. If you enjoyed it, if you want to give me a thumbs up, I appreciate that. And if you liked it, then maybe if you subscribe, you will be notified for my other videos. My videos are always, I pray for messages that Spirit wants to come through, and they come through in music, in daily messages, and also in these pick a card readings. I appreciate you being here, and the beautiful light in me, it honors, it respects, and loves the same beautiful light in you. And until next time, namaste.